I missed you guys having 24 hours off of recording. It's a little weird. Anyway, we are up to T and get back in the swing of things. It looks like we're going to finish up the alphabet this week. And then we will probably look at step 6 once we get past C. Talk about that while it's still June. So my T words tonight, I think, are pretty cool. Of course, most of the words I think are cool. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be on here, right? So the one I'm going to start with, I think that probably we all need a little of, especially on our journey to stay unbetting. Is that a word? If we unbet? Staying clean, staying sober, staying away from the casinos and cigarettes and whatever else, right? And that word is tenacity. That's a fun word, isn't it? The quality or fact of being determined, determination, or the quality or fact of continuing to exist and persistence. And I think we can all agree that it takes some persistence to get through, some of the urges or dedicating our life to a nice, clean life where there's no betting. My personal journey has taught me that it doesn't have to be white knuckling it and difficult to be persistent, once we do the healing and once we do the work, but it still takes some tenacity to hang in there. And don't forget, it also takes some tenacity of our significant others, our family members, all kinds of different people to put up with us. So just another piece of the puzzle that we should consider. The next word I think is just so freaking important. And I probably addressed this when we were at H. And I have to tell you, by the way, there were some pretty good T words. Like I didn't pick tranquil because we did serenity for S. I ended up not picking thankful because we did gratitude. So there was a little method to my madness. Did I just say I didn't? Yeah. Okay. This one I picked even though we probably did H, but truth. I think it's just so important to tell the truth and be honest with ourselves, most importantly and first. And the definition, of truth is that is which is true or in accordance with fact or reality. Or it could be a fact or belief that is accepted as true. This has evolved some for me as I've gone along. The believing what is true. Like, I don't know what's true anymore about gambling in the sense of the textbook, is it a textbook addiction / disease? Is it something we can control more than maybe I thought during my, almost 6 years combined recovery journey? I don't know the answer to that yet. So, but knowing that I definitely gambled more than I should have, or that I had a problem, that was very easy truth from my opinion. And I could see that clearly. And, it's very hard to be truthful with other people. And even more so for ourselves, like just really coming clean and admitting our truth or telling our truth. Like I tell you guys all my truths, probably a lot more than you care to know in some cases. But it's my truth. I don't hide behind anything more anymore. That's not the life I want to live. So by telling my truth, it helps me stay honest and clean. And I hope that everybody out there finds a way to be true to themselves and their recovery and their people in their lives. The last word I just got to dedicate to my buddy Brett, Dr. Stone, from one of the very first episodes. As geez, probably every meeting I've ever been to, especially when he's talking to the new people. I think he said this word, and I love the truth to this and the validity. He always says, give time. And if you're new in a group or to recovery, or you're sitting there as the new guy and you're so overwhelmed and you're so devastated and you're still at that point where you think it's a money problem, and let's be honest, probably, all right, I won't make up percentages, but I would imagine the statistics are probably pretty startling about how many people go in the rooms because they think gambling is a money problem. And as they're sitting there broke and desperate and, just that craze and the defeat, to sit there and try to teach them anything or to get them to really understand with all that psychological chaos as we're, stepping away from our last bet, to tell someone to give them time is about as simple as we can make it. Now, whether or not they believe us is another factor, but I love the way Brett always shares this. He's always very reflective, talking about his journey with his children, especially in his ex-wife, and how time, he had to do the work, but he really talked about how time helped heal so many things. He had to do the right stuff, and he had to pay his price, and he had to tell his truth and all of that. But essentially, giving time is, it works. Like our things like our finances and our relationships and all that stuff improves, provided you do the I don't know, the right or wrong, but the next right thing. If you're positive, if you're working on it, if you're not betting, time kind of does cure most things. Of course, I'm again, I don't mean to be confusing, but as I continue to learn, and I pride myself on telling you as I go along with my learning, and if you decide to read books alongside of me or listen to a podcast or whatever it is that I throw out there that I'm digging in, because of the alcohol class, I'm reading a book that I never even would have heard of this guy before, but essentially the topic is how time relates to past, present, and future, and what time truly is. And he refers to time as clock time, and then the present. And anyway, I'm trying to digest through like 6 or 8 chapters that I read between or listened to on the way back and forth to Connecticut. And time is a pretty curious thing in the context that he talks about. So I'm even trying to wrap my head around, I don't want to butcher how he explained it, but what I'm getting out of it is the purest part of the time thing is the only thing that really matters is this present moment. And we've heard it in the cliche, yesterday's over and we don't know if we have tomorrow, or we can't change the past, all those kinds of things. But I've hung on to, and I'm trying to wrap my head around the past. When the past was happening, it was happening now, like when we were there. And now is happening now because I'm talking to you and I'm in that moment. And then when the future actually happens, it'll be happening now. Like, that's mind blowing. So again, I'm not saying this from a preachy or try to educate you on all this, because I can't. I'm still learning. I'm still definitely the student. So as I give time on my learning piece of this, I will keep you guys updated. But I love the tea time word. I want to thank you for listening, and thank you for those of you who have subscribed or added reviews or ratings. I know I've been asking lately. It is appreciated. I was tickled, and I don't know if it was because I was on somebody else's phone like my phone, I look at stuff all the time, and I'm working on, the 321 No Kiddin brand essentially and all the arms of it. So my phones are used to seeing 321 No Kidding, and it knows where to take me. But one of my friends, we put in gambling addiction on her phone in the podcast search, and I finally showed up on that front page. And the reason this is important is because if there's people out there suffering, they can get access to some of the stuff that's on there. Like there's, I wish I knew the gentleman's name, but there's a After Problem Gambling podcast. It's from a fella that I've listened to a few of his episodes, and I reached out to him. I actually want to see if I can get him on the show, but his show's on there. But not too far behind that, there's a lot of gambling for the people who still want to gamble and want to like learn gambling things and whatever. Like the action kind of podcasts come next. So it was really important to me to try to get on that page and let people who are looking for help find help more accessibly. And maybe I should have explained this to you sooner, and that might inspire you to leave a rating or a review, because those things impact who's seeing us. So it's not because I need to watch those numbers climb or whatever. It's that in podcast land, it offers more visibility, and visibility is something that gambling addiction and gambling awareness needs to have, is visibility. So T, thank you for that. I do appreciate it. And, maybe now that you understand it, if you haven't already, maybe you'd want to. So, all right. Well, I have one more thing to do, and then I can get ready for bed, which I like bed and sleep. So I am going to get on that. I hope that everybody has a lovely evening, and I will chat with you guys in the morning. Thanks, beautiful people. Good night.